Good morning, everyone. My name is Audrey. I am Stitchywitch 42. Today is a Friday. It's the 15th, July 2022. And we're going to dance and dance and dance and dance. I've already been to work. I'm home. I need to get a video made because I'm not going to be around next Monday, and that's when I would normally record. So you're getting me early. It's early. But it's after 10:30 and I've already been to work, and so I'm confused because confused is what happens to me a lot. And I have stories about confused to share on this video, which is a channel about cross-stitch, life, the universe, and everything. And as you know me, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm going to talk about and what I'm going to talk about. It's all just life with cross-stitch mixed up in it. There you go. I am also on Instagram as Stitchywitch42 and Stitchywitch42dstash. So, let's talk about the name of my channel, Stitchywitch42. I've had this channel for almost 5 years. And yet, some of my friends who also do floss tubes seem to have issues with remembering my name. A couple videos ago, I was watching Janet Jabber, and she tried like crazy. It was Stitchy, it was Witchy, it was Witchy, it was Stitchy, but there was no 42. And I sat in my chair and laughed because she was trying. She was trying really hard. Stitchywitch 42. It's that simple. Just refer to me as the witch, and it's good. And if you want to change the W for a B, that also works because I use that title at work. I haven't been sleeping good at night. The temperature has cooled down a little bit. We were up in the 90s, I think 97 on Monday. But it's still really, really warm at night, and I have the AC on, the overhead fan, an oscillating fan at the foot of the bed, the window by the bed, and the door that goes out to the upstairs deck all open, and I'm still too warm. And I haven't been sleeping. And I'm burping. There you go. So, let's talk about my first blonde moment or technology failure or whatever we're going to call it. It doesn't matter. Thursday the 7th was first Thursday meetup at Acorns and Threads. It is the second one that we've had since COVID, and it's in the lovely new annex area of Acorns and Threads. She has 1,600 square feet, and she's got 7, 8 different tables, but she's only got 12 chairs. So if you're going to come to a first Thursday meetup, if you're going to come to any meetup, bring a folding chair, bring something to sit on because she has 12. And if you're not one of the first 12 there, you have to sit on the floor. Well, you don't have to, but you might. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there because at this last first Thursday, I brought my chair with me. And it's a good thing that I did because with people coming in and sitting down to stitch and then leaving and going over to the shop to purchase and coming back and people moving in and out, there was about 18 people there. So there would have been 6 people sitting on the floor. Just saying. But the main reason that I'm bringing First Thursday up is because I've mentioned it many times that technology, recording videos, sometimes I can't do it. I don't know how to insert photos. Sometimes I forget how to add photos at the end. It happens. It's an issue for me. But I was there at First Thursday, and I happened to be over in the shop, and Janine said to the ladies that were working there that she was going to do something that she hasn't done very often. She was going to cut fabric. So everybody kind of looked at her because Acorns and Threads sells fabric and they cut it there to size. But that's not what she was talking about. Janine, our illustrious leader at Acorns and Threads, actually finished a project, and she was going to cut said project out of the Portland cut of fabric that she had stitched it on. And she was going to make a ritual out of it over at the annex with the people that were over there stitching. Okay, so me, flosstuber that I am, I get my phone out and I do things on the front of it, and I'm holding it like this, and Janine's on the other side of the table and she's explaining, she starts to explain to everybody what she's going to do. And I go, wait a second. I said, and she goes, are you ready? And I said, yes, I'm ready. And I'm holding it. And she is playing up to me. She is showing her finished piece. Blackbird Designs, Raven Nevermore. And she sets it down on the table and she cuts it out and she shows it up. And the whole time I have my camera like this. And when she was done, I looked at my camera and I never hit record. Because I'm blonde. And I thought, I have to tell her. It's an oh crap moment. I have to tell her, and she's already cut it. So now I'm telling you. There you go. Right. Janine and Susan's friend Louise and I went over to the McMinimans, and we were having lunch over there, and I confessed to Janine that I hadn't actually recorded her. I just stood there holding the camera. And then I said, I have some questions for you. And they're about samplers. I know. I should have warned you. Are you sitting down? I'm going to talk about samplers. When I was at the last Cluck Up meetup, that's the Beehive Mother Cluckers who met up at Acorns and Threads just as a private group one day. Janine was talking about being at the attic and for the Bristol Sampler Retreat. Right after she was talking about that, I saw Stacy, the 911 stitcher, on one of her videos, also talking about the Bristol Sampler Retreat. I know nothing about samplers. Nothing about samplers. What little I know, you're going to learn today. Okay? So, when Stacy was talking about them on her videos, she was going into more explanation of what the Bristol samplers were. But then she also said some of them were stitched on perforated paper. 18 count perforated paper. I didn't know any samplers were stitched on perforated paper. I didn't know that there was 18 count perforated paper. So when Janine and Susan and Louise and I were at lunch, I was asking her about it to get more information from her since she was at the same retreat. And she said, yes, it's not that they stitched the alphabets on the perforated paper. It's more that they stitched the elements that you see on Bristol samplers on the perforated paper. And I thought that was rather interesting. Acorns and Threads also carries 18 count perforated paper. You could only get it in white, but I think you could probably tea or coffee stain it, because I tea and coffee stain papers all the time and then just put them in the oven and dry them off a little bit. I think you could do the same thing with perforated paper. I haven't tried it, but if it works on copier paper, it should work on perforated paper. So I thought that was rather interesting to learn that. I might be actually intrigued to try some sort of sampler elements on 18 count perforated paper, but don't hold your breath. Intrigued is the word. Will it happen? I don't know. So, going back to the 18 people being at the first Thursday, we had a gentleman there with us. And he actually has been working with Janine and helping her with some of the computer technology that she is upgrading in the shop. And he was stitching on a piece that I would consider to be like a Haid. It's full coverage, but it's not a Haid. It's actually an image that he uploaded from the internet and ran it through a cross-stitch pattern program for himself, not for sale. He's making it for himself. He was using the parking method. I have, like samplers, I have no clue as to how parking is actually done. People have explained it to me. It makes my head hurt. It's not my thing. But watching what he was doing and listening to him, how he was explaining how he was doing it, it was interesting. Am I going to do it? No. No. Parking makes my brain hurt. It just does. But what I worked on while I was up there and what I shared with him and everybody else was my Alphonse Mucha. This is the cover that I made for my Alphonse Mucha so that I could take it with me when I go places. And I know I've shared this before. I just figured out my dimensions and I sewed a rectangle and I put Velcro on the top and the bottom and it covers it. And the nice thing is if I take my Alphonse Mucha with me, I can then use this as my table mat to set my things on and to designate that that's my area. So I took my Mucha. I've decided that I like taking my Alphonse Mucha with me up to meetups for the simple reason that it's on 14 count aida. It's really easy to see. I don't need any magnification, and I don't have problems not keeping track of where I'm at because I use negative space to track where I'm at. But this is where I am. Okay, let's see. This is where I am, and I was working up in this area here. And basically, I know I've said this before, when I'm working my full coverage, I will go up to the highest empty spot, choose that color, and then I will work that color down in the area that I'm working in. If I have more when I get to the bottom, I carry it down into the page down below, or I carry it over to the side. I work across pages all the time. So she's getting some love, and I'm really, really happy with that. And I will continue to take her with me up to First Thursdays because she's on 14 count aida and she's easy to see, and that way I'm spending some time with her. Alrighty. I have notes today because I haven't been sleeping and I'm tired, and I had to sit down and write some notes. So that was First Thursday. But the day before First Thursday was Wednesday. And it wasn't just any Wednesday, it was the Wednesday I met a friend. This is another one of those blonde moments. My friend and I, her name is Sandi, on Instagram. She is SHH Designs Quilts and SHH Designs 1. She lives up in British Columbia, and she was coming down from her home to head over to the Sisters Quilt Show, and she wanted to know if we could meet up. She purchased one of my floss books, and this was going to save both of us the postage for me sending to Canada and her having to pay for me sending to Canada. And I get to meet a friend, all right? Yay, I like that. So we're emailing back and forth, and she asked me about meeting up with her on Tuesday. That Tuesday, I happened to work a 5 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. shift, and I said I could get off work and I could head up there and I could meet you about 11:30, 12. And that wasn't going to work for her because that was the day she was traveling down. And I said, well, Wednesday, I work a 9 to 2 shift, and I could head up there and we could meet about 3. Somewhere in the emails back and forth, we got the dates mixed up. I thought we were going to meet up on Wednesday at 3. She thought we were meeting up Tuesday at 3. We met on Wednesday. She called me Tuesday afternoon, shortly after 3, and she goes, I thought you were coming up. And I said, I thought that was tomorrow. We're both blonde. Anyway, she came over to my house on Wednesday, and I loved meeting her. Oh my God, this woman brought bags with samples in it of her work. And she does quilting and she does cross stitching, and she has this quilted wall hanging that she is working on that's got all of these sea animals on it. And I took a picture, and I'm going to add it at the end, because I'm going to add it at the end. I'm not going to have another technology failure. But this wall hanging has so many specialty stitches in there, and I could have sat there and stared at it all afternoon. I was so intrigued by it all. She got me to follow Sue Spargo on Instagram, and she showed me on Sue Spargo's Instagram page where if you go to her profile page and you go to her videos, she actually has separate videos on that page showing how to do these specialty stitches. And I have ideas. I have a wool pattern upstairs that I want to work on, and I'm going to have to practice some of these specialty stitches first and then see how I can incorporate them into this wool pattern. Stop laughing, Anna. It's your fault. Sandi was your friend first, and you introduced me. Yeah. When that happens, I will be sharing that. But another technology failure. I took Sandi upstairs to the library because she wanted to see the Hobbit library. Everybody who comes over to my house wants to see the Hobbit door. I took her up to see the Hobbit door. Did I take a picture of her when she was upstairs, standing in front of the Hobbit door? No, because my cell phone was in my pocket. And I'm blonde. Just saying. Just saying. I did get a picture of her project. I didn't get a picture of her in front of the Hobbit door. Yeah, I know. just natural, people. It is so natural. Oh my gosh. Alright, so in my last video, I was doing a giveaway for one of my floss books. There's the front cover on this one, the front inside cover, the back cover, inside cover, and the back. And I drew names, and this is going to, hold on. Pamalama Stitches. Pamalama Stitches. So, Pamalama. I like that name. My email will be down below. Please send me an email, or if you follow me on Instagram at Stitchywitch42, you can send me a message there. I need your address so that I can get that sent out to you. But while I'm talking about floss books, I came up with an idea. Over the weekend, I was making some more, and I put them up for sale on my D-Stash page. And I like this size. I do like this size. I use 1.5" binder rings, and I put 10 of them in here, and when they're full, it puffs up. You know, it puffs up. You could probably get another 5 floss away bags in there, and it's still gonna puff up quite a bit. Trying to figure where mine is at. It's somewhere in my mess. But I was thinking, for people who have larger projects, how could I make this work for a larger project? Well, a couple of ideas came to mind. Number one, you can switch out the size of the binder rings. You can get these on Amazon. They're not that expensive. They're great for hanging floss in your room or wherever it is that you stash your specialty flosses. So if you increase the size of a binder ring, you could add more floss away bags in here. But then I got an idea, and I thought, what if I made a double floss book? This is my prototype, and this is one that I'm going to keep for myself. But this is my prototype of a double floss book. And doing it this way, I can actually punch, well, I could punch holes in the others too, but I punched holes in this one so that I can tie it closed with ribbons, so that when you have it full, you can still close it and keep it contained. And since I went and purchased a spool of this ribbon that looks like measuring tape, I got lots of ribbon. But anyway, this is the front of my double. This is the inside of the front cover of this one. I've got the library card here and 10 floss away bags on this side. This is the inside of the other front cover. There is 10 more floss away bags here, but no library card. This is the inside. And then that is the back. So I'm thinking that I'm going to get some more of these made up and offer this size also on my Stitchywitch 42D stash. I have been asking $20 for these, plus $5 shipping in the US. This is a double. I'm thinking I would ask $35 for this, with $5 shipping in the US. I know it might cost a little bit more, and I know that postage rates just went up at the beginning of the week, but until I figure that out, I figure $5 is good enough. So, Pamalama, send me an email, send me a message, give me your address, and I will get your floss book out to you. Okay, other stitching besides my Alphonse Mucha. I have been working on Strawberry Fields Forever. You don't want me to sing. Really, you don't. Oh, good. Talented. So this is where I am at with Strawberry Fields Forever. I have been working on stitching this vine up here. I stitched a bird, and I've been filling in the bricks here, and I stitched a little bit of this one over here. I'm at the point where on this piece when I'm stitching it, if I pull a color, I will stitch everywhere I can with that color until I run out of floss. This is the one that was sent to me by my friend Marsha Carlsen, and she stitched the house for me. She sent me the fabric, the pattern, all the DMC, and I don't know what took me so long to get started on this one because I love it and I am enjoying stitching on it. So there you go. Oh, look! Here's my floss book with all my colors on it. That's what it looks like with 13 pages, or 13 bags in there. But like I said, if you just tie a ribbon around this, it's going to hold it more compact, and if you're putting it in a project bag, it's not going to flip open. Spread its wings. Behave yourself, Audrey. Yeah. I never behave myself. I will not be going down in the history books. I am not a well-behaved woman. Another project that I have been working on in this bag. This is a Nicki's Notables bag. Just gorgeous. When you're showing your patterns and they're in plastic, when you're showing your project bags, if you hold it like this, you're going to get glare. If you just tilt the bottom back, you can actually see better because the light travels past the reflective properties of the vinyl or the plastic. I keep telling people that, and then I watch people struggle on their videos. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying if you do that, you get less reflection. This is Emily's Bliss. This is a SummerHouse Stitchworkes. It's exclusive to Acorns and Threads. I purchased the whole kit when I got it. So I got 32 count called for fabric. I don't know what it is. It's 32 count natural linen from Wichelt. I got all the Glorianna silks. These. Everybody who stitches with silks knows how soft and smooth and the colors and the depth of colors in these, oh my gosh. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So this is where I'm at. I've been stitching on Speaks. And the leaves above and below Speaks. So I have to get that finished so I can continue my bottom over here and come up, because way back here I have a mistake. I know where the mistake's at. I'm going to fudge it because I can. So, some patterns, it's easy to fudge. Emily's Bliss, easy to fudge. Strawberry fields, when I messed up on the borders, not so easy to fudge. There was picking out and restitching. It's project by project with me. If there's not an issue with the project, it must be stitched by somebody else. All right. And I have a new start. When I was up at First Thursday, there is something about turning the camera on and recording myself that words no longer flow correctly from my mouth. I don't know why, but this is what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a good spot to take a break. I realized that my camera was about to stop recording, and I thought, you know, let's just take a break, start over again, so I can show you my purchase and my new start from First Thursday at Acorns and Threads. So when I was over in the shop and I was listening to Janine say that she was going to do her ritual of cutting fabric, I had been looking around and I came across this pattern. This is Pumpkin Row by Erica Michaels. And this one here is the one that I wanted to stitch. There's actually, I think, 3 different patterns in here. Maybe. There's more than one pattern in here. Anyway, I did not buy the called for fabric. I got a 32 count light sand. Let me see, where's that at? Needles. I am so coordinated today, it is just baffling. This is what I have gotten done on this, and it spells, they're blocks of color, and it spells out pumpkins. So it's a pumpkins row. There you go. Pumpkins row. Sorry. I'm going to tell you I'm tired. Yeah. So I decided that I was going to do this reverse. I was going to stitch the blocks, but not the letters, until I have all the blocks stitched. And that was the area I had in my Q-snap. So then I went up and I started stitching the little leaves that are up above there. And when I get done stitching the leaves, I will put this back in my Q-snap. I will come over here and stitch the PU. And then I will move it over to that one and get the NS. So this is what happens when I'm lazy. I'm making floss books. Do you see a floss book? I don't see a floss book. I went upstairs, I grabbed floss, I grabbed a ring, I grabbed my extra floss away bags that I had, and I threw them in there. It's like, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I have another floss book upstairs that's mine. And couldn't find it. Pumpkin row. Alrighty. I was surprised I actually got a project bag to put it in, because a lot of times I don't. I'm lazy, okay? No judgment. Alrighty. I have some giveaways. I have a basket at the foot of my stairs, and in that basket I have games for the granddaughters to play and a bunch of other stuff, and I've just been collecting things. And I noticed the other day there was this huge cobweb on it, and I thought, okay, Audrey, it's time to clean out the basket. When it's covered with a cobweb, it's time to clean out the basket. I don't like spiders, and I can't stand cobwebs. And I don't dust as often as some people. My house looks lived in. But it always amazes me during the winter when we have the pellet stove running. I'll look over and I'll see across the ceiling the condominium of cobwebs. And it's huge. And it's like, how do I not notice these developing? This basket sits at the foot of my stairs. I walk past it, up and down and up and down and up down those stairs, and I did not notice that it had a cobweb covering about a fourth of it. It's like, seriously. So I went through and I took everything out, and I got rid of the garbage that was in there, and I reorganized the games for the girls, and I found 2 cross-stitch patterns that I had bought for them when they were younger. I bought 4 of these in total, and they started 2 of them. And they're still in the basket. But I figured since they're not finishing those, and they didn't finish the other pieces that I got them to stitch for me, for my coffee and tea canister, the chances of getting them to stitch either one of these, and they're 15 and 14, not gonna happen. So, these are whole kits. They're Buchilla, My First Stitch. There's an owl and a peace sign. Be a subscribed viewer. Be over 18. Don't say giveaway, free, gift, blah, 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 da, da, and yeah. All the things you know you're not supposed to do. Say owl. And tell me about the little that you would like to have stitched the owl. And this one, say peace. P-E-A-C-E. And tell me about the little that you would like to teach to stitch this one. And if that's not enough, I stitched this tiny modernist Phoenix Biscornu a couple of years ago, and I think it turned out really, really cute. If you're interested in this one, say Biscornu. B-I-S-C-O-R-N-U. I will tell you, I like tiny modernist patterns, but they are so small. The design is on the opposite side of this. It's small. I highly recommend putting them in a copier and blowing them up, unless you got really good eyes. Because even with magnification, this is a difficult pattern to see in this size. Just saying. I stitched it. I like it. I want to do more of these. I haven't gotten there yet because I got lots of stuff up there that I want to stitch. I think I need to go take a nap. I'm tired. That's all I'm saying. I'm tired. Okay. I'm down to the bottom of the pile. I've got new piles on the floor. That's the way it works here. Yeah. Thank you once again for coming and visiting with me. Thank you for liking, for subscribing. Recently, I have been getting a lot of new subscribers, so I know somebody is talking about me. even if they can't get Stitchywitch 42 correct. They're linking me in their videos, and people are coming over and subscribing to me, so I want to say thank you to my new subscribers, because I'm just a wee bit crazy. Thank you to all the subscribers who have stuck around from the very beginning. I know that there's some of you. Live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye. It's nap time. I'm going to edit. I'm going to go take a nap. I have to add pictures. Remember to add pictures. These are notes for myself after the video.